live video. We are live today, and we're gonna get to the topic of this video, which is Karrion Kross. Uh, Pretty much not signed by WWE and whatnot. Um, Pretty much his contract ended August 10th at 12 o'clock midnight, and WWE decided that hey, we're not gonna sign him, but we good with bringing Brock Lesnar in, which pretty much tells you right there that WWE right now they're on that point where they don't care about the wrestling fans right now. You could well see it. You saw it on SummerSlam when they decided to bring in Brock Lesnar at the end of the match between Cody Rhodes and John Cena, and this was their surprise of the night. Meanwhile, we have seen Karrion Kross getting this momentum going on, and pretty much it looks like he is not, a lot of WWE is not even listening to the fans. I mean, he did two videos on his YouTube channel where he spoke about how the weekend of, not SummerSlam, WrestleMania, um, he was in a battle royal and he got thrown down. And the response from the fans were they were pissed off. They were angry at the fact that this man got thrown out of the battle royal, whatever it was. And the reaction, he was getting the reaction from the fans. And we're talking about Karrion Kross here. This man has a mindset when it comes to pro wrestling. His ideas are crazy. Now, I've been following uh, Karrion Kross when he was known as Killer Kross in TNA, and his work was crazy in TNA. TNA did not know how to appreciate what he brought to the table, and that was, his mindset, the way he tells the story. They pretty much didn't care to, to appreciate his work. What they were doing back then was, telling him, well, you know, we're not gonna put you on TV, but you can work outside of TNA. And he had his matches outside of TNA, even though he was under contract with TNA. And he was asking TNA to let him go. They didn't want to let him go. I remember this clearly in 2019 and 2020. He had a good match with John Moxley. When Moxley first started coming out to the independent show, he had signed with AEW. AEW did not have a what we could say a weekly show at that time. Uh, and pretty much back in 2020, he chose, or 2021, he chose to go with WWE. Now, I could break down what the stuff he did when he came. Actually, it was 2020, May 6th of 2020. He joined NXT and whatnot. And when he joined NXT, he pretty much, he signed with WWE at that time, 2020, debuted in NXT alongside with his real life wife, Scarlett Bordeaux. Okay, he made an immediate impact by squashing several opponents with his dominating style and intense presentation. His entrance was crazy. It was out of this world. You know what I'm saying? And his entrance, his whole gimmick, everything was great. You know what I'm saying? And he made a great impact. On August 22nd, 2020, in NXT TakeOver, it says 30 here. I don't know what it says 30. Defeated Keith Lee to win the NXT Championship in his first title match, but suffered a separated shoulder during the match, which means he had to forfeit the title. Okay. Then from there, he was forced to vacate the NXT Championship date later due to an injury. He returned back, and 4 months later, going on a winning streak. And then in April 2021, TakeOver Stand and Deliver, he defeated Finn Balor to regain the NXT Championship. Okay. And then he successfully defended that belt against Kyle O'Reilly, Johnny Gargano, and Pete Dunne. He lost the NXT title to Samoa Joe at NXT TakeOver 36, August of 2021. Now, before I continue, I want to get to this part because when he lost the belt to Samoa Joe in August 2021, he was called up a month before that to Raw. He came in and whatnot, and his whole presentation was pretty much messed up because he debuted without Scarlett, and then he was wearing a controversial gladiator style mask. I still remember this. mask and gear, which received a heavy fan backlash. Now, my thing is, you already knew WWE was doing it at that time. McMahon was in charge. Okay. And then he lost his debut match against Jeff Hardy, shocking fans and damaging his momentum. The man was dominating. He was dominating NXT. They brought him up to Raw to lose to Jeff Hardy in 3 minutes. I still remember this. This was crazy. How you lose 3 minutes? You're the NXT champion. And WWE decided that, hey, let's get the win to Jeff Hardy. So, with that, he lost his debut match, and then he struggled to connect with audience without Scarlett's presence. So, what they do, they released him on November 4th of 2021 and whatnot, just 4 months after he made his Raw debut. And also show you what WWE does at that time. So he resigned with WWE in August 2022. That was probably 9 months later, under Triple H creative leadership. Now you figure Triple H is the man in charge. He's gonna give you opportunities. He's gonna push you. Whatever everybody's talking about. Oh, Triple H is cooking. Triple H is doing this. You know what I'm saying? And it was crazy. You know what I'm saying? It was crazy. Well, what I was looking at here at one now, when he came back, he had a high profile feuds with Drew McIntyre, Rey Mysterio, AJ Styles. But before that, when he returned to SmackDown by attacking Drew McIntyre, at that time Drew McIntyre was a babyface, and confronting Roman Reigns with Scarlett back with his side, I thought him and Roman were gonna have some type of program. That never happened. Instead, they pretty much, they had him wrestling Rey Mysterio, AJ Styles. Then he had this group where it had the AOP back. You had Paul Ellery, you had Kevin Sullivan. You had all these people come in, and I think they even had a feud with the wife six. It didn't work. He didn't win no championship while he's been there. And his vignette are intense. His mind games, his dominant yet methodical, and his ring style. But what did they do to him? You know, they pretty much didn't use him. As you can see, what they did to him in SummerSlam. I mean, they had him wrestling. I think he wrestled Sami Zayn twice, and he lost both of the matches to Sami Zayn. And to me, honestly, why is he losing Sami Zayn? Sami Zayn should not be getting this push again. Sami Zayn had his time, his push, but they pushed him, and Karrion Kross was standing on the sideline. This year, WrestleMania, he was in the sideline. He went to do Bloodsport, where he fought uh, JT Kratos and whatnot. And the big thing is that Kratos was ready to beat him because Kratos was like, "Well, you're a WWE guy. I'm gonna try to beat you at Bloodsport," and he ended up choking out Kratos. But he talks about it in his documentary in YouTube. And my thing is, WWE didn't bother to resign him back. Now, a lot of people think that this is just a work. And this is the problem that I feel that now everything that WWE does is going to be a work because of what happened with R-Truth. R-Truth got let go. They figured that this was a work, where pretty much Nick Khan ended up signing him back and whatnot, and he got back. Then we had the Seth Rollins situation, where in the Seth Rollins situation, you saw the Seth Rollins acting like he got hurt. Had everybody, including myself, doing podcasts saying, WWE went and put Seth Rollins out there and whatnot, and to combat AEW's pay per view, and they ended up getting hurt. And all this was a plot. But you saw what happened at SummerSlam. You know, he ended up cashing in his money in the bank and beating CM Punk for the title. But is this work, or is this a real exit? In my thing, and I'm going to say this because these are the things I'm seeing online and reports of it's Karrion Kross really leaving WWE. Now we got to look at what he just wrote a book. Hey, hi, what she wrote. He just wrote a book. Okay, now he is going on a book tour and whatnot. I'll say hi. How you doing, Shiro? Uh, so he's going on a book tour. Now my thing is this book tour a way to fight him off from wrestling and then he'll come back somewhere down the line and whatnot and get into a storyline, Survivor Series, whatever. It can happen. But if this is the way WWE is doing things now, making all the fans get mad and uh, they're trolling the fans to then catch you by surprise, uh, this is not, to me, this is not working because everybody's going to be like, nobody's going to believe it. I'm talking about the Karrion Kross situation, him, uh, you know, not getting signed by WWE. Read the title, please. So my thing is, if he is, doing the book tour and he's just sitting in the sideline to recuperate from injuries, whatever the case may be, then we could say, okay, this is all work. But according to reports that are coming through, he already has a shirt on Pro Wrestling Tees. Once you get your stuff on Pro Wrestling Tees, you're no longer part of WWE. Okay, and that's a fact. You know what I'm saying? And before I continue, anybody who's on right now watching me, please give me a thumbs up on this. I would appreciate it. Um, thank you very much. But getting back in, he got his merchandise already on Pro Wrestling Tees. WWE will not allow him to do that. Okay, so that goes to show you that he's a free agent. Now, where is he going to sign? We don't know. I had one person say, "Oh, you should go back to TNA." For what? TNA was the reason why he left TNA and went to WWE. Well, you think he's going to go to TNA? We all know WWE's running TNA. Let's be realistic. You know what I'm saying? WWE's running TNA. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, all you got to look at who got the titles, who got the women's knockouts championship, who got the men's world title. It's NXT guys, not TNA guys. Okay. And the thing is, the way I'm looking at it is that, you know, they went and decided to bring Brock Lesnar back, okay, instead of signing Killer Cross or Karrion Kross. Think about it. You have a guy who brings nothing to the table. Let's be realistic. What Brock does bring to the table. He's going to do the same three moves he does. He's going to bitch and moan because now he got the creative control. He wants to be the world champion again. Do you want? And like I said this on my shorts today when I posted it on my YouTube channel. Do you want to see Brock Lesnar again win the world title, hold it for 6 months and maybe to a year, and just hold it hostage and show on whenever the hell he wants? You want that? Or do you want a guy like Karrion Kross who his methodical in-ring style gives you stories? But WWE decided they weren't going to do that. Instead, they let him walk. Now, where does he go? Does he go to MLW? Does he go to New Japan Pro Wrestling? Does he go to Noah? I don't see him in AEW. I'll be really, really surprised if he shows up at AEW, which I doubt because I mean AEW has that mindset now. We're not bringing no WWE wrestlers. We used to wrestle with WWE because we already experienced bad situations already. You know what I'm saying? They had wrestlers come in thinking they're high shit because they wrestle with WWE and whatnot. I mean, all you have to do is look at the history, what has happened since 2021 with the exception of Adam Cole and Brian Danielson. You can probably say those are the guys that probably they respected professional wrestling. But the way I'm looking at this right now, with this whole Karrion Kross leaving WWE and WWE bringing in, you know, um, you know, Brock Lesnar, doesn't make no sense to me. I mean, you guys can tell me on the chat, what do you think? Is it a smart move for them to bring Brock Lesnar? What Brock's going to do? Get into another feud with Roman Reigns? He'll be the bad guy, and Roman Reigns the good guy now. Karrion Kross could have been done. They could have done a lot of things with this guy. He could have made his own faction. He could have been part of the YS6. You know what I'm saying? Or he could have done his own faction instead of bringing AOP. AOP is not something I want to watch on TV. Paul Ellering, that guy's past his prime. They brought in Kevin Sullivan. I don't know for what. May he rest in peace. But that did not make no sense to me. And now the man right now, and if you look at his documentaries and his channel on YouTube, makes a lot of sense. The man was not even put in WrestleMania this year. Okay? And he said it. When he did that shoot, I don't know if it was real or not, but it looked like it was a shoot. when he said, being a good soldier doesn't get you anywhere. And the person who told him this was no other than who else? Mr. Suck Up to WWE is Goldberg. Goldberg said, oh, you got to be a good soldier. Goldberg was a good soldier. What did they give him? He got cut off in the middle of his fucking speech in his during his how you call it, during his going away speech. So this is what I'm saying. Like some of these old school wrestlers tell these things to the younger guys, especially when they work in WWE. Do this, do that. He even said, Karrion Kross said that while he was in WWE, he was told not to listen to the crowd. That was all just a hype, because at the end of the day, they're gonna turn on. And he said it in his documentary, he wanted the fans, he wanted to give something back to the fans, but WWE would not allow him to, which is crazy to think about, because this man could have been big. But WWE is known not to allow wrestlers to be bigger than the company. When the way things are running right now with WWE, okay, with Triple H just throwing people under the bus, he threw John Cena under the bus. Now him and Nick Khan are running, don't want no part of post match interviews and or media scrums anymore, because they gotta answer the hard questions. And what this shows you, I mean, a guy like me who does a podcast, pro wrestling podcast, and covers everything. Do I really want to cover WWE anymore? Or people just fed up with it? You know what I'm saying? And the fans are the ones going to suffer, because everything, the prices are going up for them for streaming. They just made a deal with ESPN, and it's costs $30 if you want to watch the PLEs and whatnot on ESPN Plus. It's just, and if you don't have that, you'll not be able to see none of this stuff. It's just nonsense. WWE right now, by them dropping the ball on Karrion Kross, that's exactly what it did. I just read what the guy only accomplished was winning the NXT title twice. After that, he ain't win no belt after that. None at all. None. So let me know what you guys think and whatnot. Give me your comments and your thoughts on what WWE should have done with Karrion Kross. Should have kept. I feel like they should have kept him and whatnot, but they dropped the ball. And is Brock Lesnar the best idea? It's a better idea to have than Karrion Kross, being that we all know what Brock Lesnar wants. Brock Lesnar wants to be world champion again. He's going to hold the belt hostage for another 6 months to a year. You know it's going to happen. It's just a matter of time. Because TKO, Nick Khan, and Triple H don't know what the hell they're doing. Right now, I'm hearing that Naomi is hurt, and she may have to cough off the belt because her injury may be worse than it appears. So let me know what you think, guys, and I call it. Again, follow my podcast. Follow the Chokeslam Wrestling Report. I do my podcast every Sunday at 12 o'clock for the latest news and updates on pro wrestling. Let me know what you think about this. Karrion Kross not being signed by WWE. And is this a work or an exit? I believe it's an exit. It's not a work. So if it is a work, I'm going to be very surprised. Very surprised. Again, guys, if you liked what you heard, follow me. Follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and the X, and Twitter. Also, give me a thumbs up for you guys who are here. Give me a thumbs up on my video. That helps the channel, and I will appreciate if you guys would do that. Again, I will see you guys this Sunday with more of the Chokeslam Wrestling Report.